welcome back to our Academy Showcase for Season 6 here. We are going into Top Cut in semis here with Six Censored versus Grizz Rizz. And I'm seeing some of these team names for the first time. I love Six Censored. That's great.
Fantastic naming convention.
All right, so we're now in top cut here, and sophomore and junior brackets are going on their own. So this is going to be going. The winner of this is going to be going straight to grand finals here in order for a chance to crown valedictorian. So very exciting. Let's get into it.
I should probably also clarify the rules have changed. It is no longer play all three. It is best of five,
Right.
single elimination. If you lose a set, you're out. There's no second chances here. Both
Right,
the teams who have gotten here have fought hard for it. But now it's time to test your mettle in a match in a game of attrition.
All right, so I know Grizz Rizz had a set on stream not too long ago. Remind me, how did that one go again? Okay, yeah, earlier lost to Lighter, and then there was another one. Right, Clean Freaks. That's right.
Clean
Yeah.
Freaks, yeah.
Went up against Clean Freaks, took that 2-1. Okay. So, yeah, I'll need to catch up on comps for them a little bit here, but feel free to give any thoughts on this one while I'm doing that.
I mean, when it comes to Grizz Rizz, we've seen how they play before, and they are a very well coordinated team. I haven't seen Six Censored play just yet. I'm quite curious to see how they will, because they do have 5 members and a wide variety of players, but I'm seeing three of their players have dualies in their pocket in terms of weapon pool. That's going to be quite interesting.
And I'm not seeing a whole lot of backline either.
I mean, I do see a Hydra in their weapon pool, but I'm not sure whether they're going to pull that out.
Yeah,
I'm
Hydra.
willing to bet they go north.
Yeah, that's gonna be one Hydra out of 5 weapons. So it sounds like it's not that frequent. If I remember correctly, they run an evil rushdown comp. Okay. Yeah. So, all right, we're doing rushdown here then. More than likely.
Speed rush B suka bliet.
I'm gonna act like I know what that means.
It's an old Counter-Strike meme.
Awesome. Okay. So yeah, it looks like for Grizz Rizz anyway, they run it a little bit more conventional. We get that rushdown from Six Censored. What map modes do you think that might be advantageous for them on, if any?
I mean, when it comes to for Six Censored, if they're going full rushdown, they're definitely going to need maps that have a lot of cover, but also give them plenty of opportunities to get around. Of course, if they can manage to force their way through the front door, then I wouldn't be too adverse from it. But like, given we're on Hagglefish zones for the first one, they are going to need to be very careful on how they push through if they're going with a rushdown comp, because if they do try and rush through the door, there may just be a bear trap right.
Yeah, I was about to say Hagglefish. You want to talk about places to hide? You're gonna be kind of looking around for that a little bit. I mean, yeah, there's the flanks and whatnot, but it's basically hallway the map. You're looking at one straight shot down. You can see the end of the horizon with Hagglefish. So yeah, that's going to be a tough one for them. I'm wondering if maybe they can make the choice to pull out the Hydra there. I feel like I don't know if Hydra's how well that'll work on there, but obviously doesn't usually get picked or see as much play. But again, like we were talking about earlier with these lower level tournaments and stuff, you get to see a lot of unconventional picks. So
indeed, I mean, especially for this tournament, we haven't seen a lot of Hydra plays in this showcase. So I think we're a little bit accustomed to seeing it at this point, especially for this tournament. But again, it's always a nice, pleasant surprise to see somebody pull out something new or a little rare. I think the best way to say it is exotic.
Exotic. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I mean, these teams definitely have a very fairly bog standard set ahead of them. But first things first, we're going to Hagglefish zones, one of the more fundamental ones when it comes to competitive.
Indeed. I feel like when I look at Hagglefish zones, I think of the early days of Splatoon 3. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it was one of the launch maps. But anyway, we're going to be getting into this. And is that a reflux that I see there?
Yes, indeed. That's a cream reflux. That's interesting.
I don't recall. Okay, no, yeah, no, that was yeah, they do have that in their pool. All right, so we're gonna be getting into this here. We're gonna have the reflex. We're gonna have that Splatter Shot Pro as well.
Yeah, 52 going on the flank, working, like, being independent as usual for that weapon. And we do have Reflux going up with an early Booyah Bomb to try and create an opening for their team. Yeah, that's it. That's the go sign. That's the go sign. Everybody goes in.
Yep.
Nobody, like, 6 men enter. Who knows how many leave?
Yeah, people weren't kidding about that rush down comp. They were ready to get right into it here.
Yeah, that. Oh my goodness, and a blazing trade. Yeah,
honestly,
you saw this. Yeah, you saw the second that Booyah Bomb landed, everybody was on the go. Like, it was just a switch flip.
The Booyah Bomb is like it's like the commander sicking its dogs on Grizz Rizz there. But that's gonna be 3 down on the sides of 6 Sensor. We're gonna see if, or sorry, no, yeah, it is. And then that zone is gonna flip over to Grizz Rizz, and we're going to see if they can get themselves a foothold here. 2 down on
It looks like the Reflex is trying to preserve their Booyah Bomb to make sure that they actually do have a way in. Both missiles and Booyah are ready here, so I'm not sure how they're going to pop them. They need to be careful though, because again, Grizz Rizz is very aggressive, making a very forward hold. But then again, they have the range advantage, so they can afford to do so. The missiles get stuffed, and the only thing they have left is a Reslider and a Booyah for this push. But they need to move quickly. They have 20 seconds of the clock.
Yep, and for when you're talking about a map like Hagglefish Zones, right? That the fact that Grizz Rizz has that range and everything over 6 Censored so much really makes that lockdown really offensive. But that Reef Slider,
the counter Reef Slider,
counter by another one. The Reef Slider says, "Hey, I can do that too," and flips that zone right back to Grizz Rizz.
Such fantastic patience and discipline on the use of that Reslider, just waiting for the right time, and that's how you stop a push. It was good. And like both teams did well there on defense and offense. They definitely, like, you know, attempted to coordinate to push people away from zone with missiles and then take it with Reef. But Grizz Rizz definitely had a read on them on that one.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that one kind of played out the way we were talking about before it started. You know, with that Hagglefish Zones, it's just going to be favoring the range that Grizz Rizz had on their side there, and they were able to get that lockdown, and that was when they got most of their points ticked off the board there. And you know, you saw 6 Sensor try and make that last-ditch effort to stop things, but then Grizz Rizz just had the time to build up their specials and counter that right back at the end. So they weren't that last-ditch effort wasn't quite able to make something happen. But what we're going to be seeing now is going to be Inkblot Tower Control. And do you think this one could favor 6 Censored a little bit more?
I definitely think so. The range advantage isn't going to be as important here because, again, there's plenty of cover all across the map and plenty of things to, you know, not only hide behind, but to maneuver around when you're trying to push. And I think the missiles and Booyah Bomb are going to be really helpful for clearing tower, forcing people to move. Because
totally.
Yeah, especially when it reaches a checkpoint, firing the missiles at them is just going to be like, hey, you're standing still, you better move.
No, exactly. This is definitely all those corners, all that cover and stuff. They're all those flanks. This is a Splatoon 2 map through and through, and I think 6 Censored is hopefully going to have a better time with this one.
Yeah. I think one of the most interesting ones is going to be Clan Blitz because because so far we've seen that Grizz Rizz is a very stable team. They're not volatile. Like, if they can get the ball rolling, there's very little that can stop them. But and it's very easy for them to start rolling to begin with. But when it comes to 6 Censored, this kind of play is very difficult to get going because if you get the opening right, you can absolutely steamroll someone. But if you don't time your push well, it falls apart very quickly. And for Clams, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Because they're gonna have a lot of like fighting power, but how much staying power are they gonna have? Because they need to be able to maintain the control of mid long enough to build a strong clam economy to get a good push. Otherwise, they're just gonna be forced to constantly score and run the risk of a counter push.
Yep, and that's tough on Umami especially because you really have that wide open mid there, which again is going to favor Grizz Rizz's comps that they have. So that is going to be an interesting test if 6 Censored can make use of the angles and cover that they do have there in order to make something happen. But it sounds like we're going to game 2 here. with tower control on Inkblot Art Academy. And let's see if any adjustments have been made here.
I'm definitely curious to see Naught. There it is. There's the Naught we were. That's the Naught I was
kind of makes sense though. It seems like they're taking that opportunity, that chance to say, okay, we have more of a chance to go with that rush down that we love. So that Knot is going to come out in order to take advantage of that.
Hot take. I'm going to be real. I think this Naught kit is actually a little more synergistic than the one with Triple Splashdown because of Inkstorm. Being able to heal while firing outside of the ink is kind of insane. Especially when you're at choke and you're trying to avoid getting chipped down. Very forward hold from the 52, making sure that their team has enough space. But the Dapples is trying to get a hold. Yeah, Dapples does get through, stops the push, and one player is left on 6 censored.
That's going to be 3 down. We're going to have to see if Alexis here can back up a little bit. Yeah, let those jumps come in and see if they can keep Grizz Rizz from getting too much of a hold here, because like we saw last game, that's really what kind of does it in for them. But that first push really was strong. Not quite able to make it through that checkpoint, but they really came out swinging there.
Yep. Dynamo goes down with cooler effect though, so they're not gone for long. The Blaster is going to manage to weave their way around some bullets and get another pick off. But it's going to be difficult for 6 Seconds. Might want to curb their jets a bit because, again, the Dynamo's back. Your AoE is gone, but they're quickly dispatched once again.
Maybe got a little bit greedy there, kind of giving yourself away to that Dynamo there. But it looks like that Killer Whale is going to come out defensively and push 6 Censored back a little bit. We're going to see a little bit of a flank from the 52 here. Not quite able to make something happen because there's a little bit too many people ready up on the plat there, and that skirmish is just continuing.
Oh, good flank from the Dapples to immediately pick up on the distraction from the Booyah Bomb. That Dynamo was completely blinded, and now they're in a very good position to continue testing. No! Their Reef does not come out, but again, they're buying time for their team to make the objective advance, and that's such a good thing. But here we go, the Naught is last alive in a very good situation. Wait, no, 52's here too. When did you get here?
Yeah, and I want to shout out to also though, Dapple is doing a great job of keeping Grizz Rizz distracted while 6 Censored pushes through that checkpoint, and that is definitely going to help them more later in the game if they can maintain things.
Yeah. They are definitely not like funneling. They're not doing the same. They have a lot more room to maneuver. They're not forced to funnel all 4 members down to the same choke point to actually push the objective forward. What a fantastic drop for the Dynamo! But unfortunately, their feet are painted. They can go no further, and the Booyah Bomb will catch up to them.
Those points are looking to be at 34 right now, and that push is still going. 6 Censored is really. You can tell they really feel way more in their element right now.
Yeah, indeed. The environment around them is perfect for their type of strategy. Zoned out by so many torpedoes. Oh my goodness.
That's a knockout. Man.
You saw that player was I couldn't identify which weapon it was behind the wall, but that player was like, I can push now. Gets a torpedo rolled in front of them. Never mind, I'm backing up. And then immediately afterwards, there's another torpedo in the air waiting for them, and it's just like, no, you don't get to even approach objective.
I love that combo of poses with the fist bump animation. It's not even like just looking in completely opposite directions and making contact with the fist bump there. That takes coordination. All right, so that is going to be game 2, going to 6 Censored here, just like we were talking about. And so now we're going to be going on to Clams on Umami, and what we were talking about before with Umami being, I feel like it's a little bit of a middle ground in openness between Haggle and Inkblot. Like there is cover to be found on Umami, and there are angles to be taken, but it's definitely going to be more open and have less sort of places that you can angles that you can take than a place like Inkblot. So I'm wondering how that'll shake out now, especially given that 6 Censored and Grizz Rizz have kind of had a chance to get the lay of how each other are playing.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, there was some good adaptation. Picking Naught, especially for tower, where people often need to stand in one place for a long period of time and can get chipped out very easily. Fantastic adaptation, and definitely point sensor definitely came in handy a couple of times there though to direct their flankers and their frontliners to tell them, hey, this guy's over here, you can move this way, insert thing here. Like,
Mhm.
Nort can help fit in with a lot of things. I still think it's such an incredibly underrated weapon.
Mm-hmm. So do you think they keep it here, or do you
I
think
mean,
they
I wouldn't
might?
be surprised. I would not be surprised. They do need to stand, like, especially when it comes to Clan Blitz, you need to spend a fair amount of time out of the ink to continue to score. So having Rain, yeah.
Interesting. Looks like Grizz Rizz is actually going to be making a sub, taking Funky out in place of Akio. I'm not. Let's see. Let me look at the. Akio is going to be playing. Their pool looks to be Gal, Octoshot, and Decav. So I'm wondering what their idea is here with this.
I think they're just going for a more brawly time. Brawly team maybe a little more independent because like their team comp there was a little dependent on their frontliners staying alive, and the second they got flanked, kind of fell apart for them.
Yeah, I can see, especially for clams. I can see the mindset there for sure. But they're going to have to probably make a little bit of an adjustment here because clams really demands a little bit more of that skirmishiness than something like tower and zones. There's something I heard the other day. I think it was on the NA official stream of zones and tower being I forget what the exact wording they used for it was, but they're set pace modes. Like things happen, the points go down at a pretty much set pace, you know? And it's very much like I don't want to call it formulaic, but it feels like the rhythms of both of those are a lot easier to get a handle on compared to something like Clams or Rainmaker, where it's a lot more volatile, you know?
I do agree. Yeah, there's nothing I can add to that. The volatility of this mode makes it interesting because you can have a game last for 7 minutes in a dead stalemate, or you can have it over in less than a minute. Wait a second.
Wait a second. Something
3v3.
isn't right here.
Play it out. 3v3. New competitive format.
This falls under DC rules, right?
Yep. Run it back. Hold on, wait. We have to take back we have to rewind the clock. We have to take back the entire conversation.
Oh yeah. Wait, well, I was so distracted by the fact that we were missing people on both. That I didn't.
So the person editing the highlights of this VOD, insert rewind of sound effect here, please. Thank you. Just kidding.
You do what? Okay, so I don't really have too much to add right now. We're just waiting on that. And remind me, I'm not too familiar. So if in the case of that, do they have to run with the weapons that they already had picked?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Indeed, yes, they do. Rerun rules dictate that if a rerun is to occur, neither team can make a change to their composition. They have to of course. We don't know which weapons the players who were disconnected had chosen, but again, if any of the players that were in that match do choose to change their weapons, that can be a rule violation.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I didn't quite catch what they were on each team, but that's fine. We're gonna get another chance to look at it.
One team had Stringer, Dynamo, Dapples, the other one had Frozen Pro, and that's the only one I remember off the top of my head.
Gotcha. Dynamo, Dapples. Gotcha. So, they're going to be rejoining here. I don't know what... So, the other groups right now in here, it looks like the other set is Sea Minesweepers versus 15 over, and currently... That's 2-0 on the side of 15 over. So we're going to see if that continues as it's looking right now. But, we got a little post here. Okay. So yeah, Frozen Pro, Gal, Dapples, and then Dapples on the other side, Stringer, and Dynamo. Interesting.
It's something interesting to see them bring two relatively slow weapons to Clan Blitz. And then again, Dynamo plays like a psychopath anyway. I've always said this. Dynamo, if anybody's familiar here is familiar with Monster Hunter, Dynamo is the great sword of Splatoon. They are always going to swing, no matter what, and most of the time, it's gonna work.
That's a great analogy because I haven't played too much Monster Hunter, but I do know how long it takes for attacks from a weapon like that to come out in that game. So yeah, Dynamo, good comparison to that.
Presses button, waits 4 business years.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyways, right, let the set continue.
Let's go. All right, so that's going to be a reflex once again for Six Censored, and it looks like they are indeed trying to keep that mobility there, but with a little bit of range with the reflex.
Certainly. Well. Okay. There may be a little bit of a connection issue. Because I literally just witnessed a torpedo explode, like fully explode with its minelets, and did not hit the ground. A little concerning.
Gotcha.
Anyways,
well, hopefully it can hang on for the rest of this game. Not too many advantages being taken right now. Really, just skirmishes happening in mid. There's going to be a trade that happens 2 down on the sides of both teams, and specials also ready on both teams. So really, it's feeling. You know what this is feeling like? It's feeling like a Clams game.
But one of the biggest problems I think Six Censored is going to encounter during this match is that Grizz Rizz has cooler. They can afford to match their aggression and not suffer the consequences if they lose their 1v1s.
Very good point. Like, yeah, and that's gonna be 2 trades in a row happening on both teams here.
These teams are butting heads, and it's not, and it's literally when immovable force when an immovable object meets an unstoppable force.
Or
in this case, 2 immovable objects.
Possibly 2 very mobile. Yeah, 2 very mobile objects. But it looks like Six Censored is building up their clam economy here. They got Grizz Rizz a little bit on the back foot. They do have the whale ready for defense, but that first power clam is going to go in. However, that's going to be some good defense coming up from Doodly Time, which is a great name to be saying like that. Time. And 3 down going to go down for Six Censored. That first push going to come in, but not too much going to come of that.
Yeah. On the upside, Six Censored has scored enough to make it so that they need more than a big clam. Oh no! Devastation! What a well placed reslider. That buff we got a while back, where it inks its predicted path. Oh my goodness, that is such a good thing. That's so strong for catching weapons that can't immediately paint their feet.
And you know what?
That's a very aggressive one, but it does result in a kill, and the Dapples can just score these for free. There's nobody that can stop them.
just all right. So Dapples finally gets shut down there, but they really were just all over the place, getting in a lot of clams there, and that is going to be a more solid push. Just more points slowly being ticked down for Six Censored, and they already have that reflex special ready, also a special ready from the tri-stringer over there. That whale's going to come out, but 2 down still on the side of Grizz Rizz, and Six Censored is already pushing up into their side again.
Yeah. Here's like, again, both of these teams have unique problems that they pose to the other. One is, well, Six Censored is like every single one of their weapons can move confidently without being impeded by paint much. Whereas Grizz Rizz, again, like just has the ability to just outrange them. They just need to play their hand carefully. And unfortunately, it seems that Six Censored is playing the matchup a little better at the moment, keeping themselves in the fight, but unfortunately just falling a little short to finish out the game. Wait, no, I thought that was a jump. I thought that ball was jumping. That might have been also. That could have been it.
All right, so there's 1 minute and 45 seconds left in this game, and Grizz Rizz has yet to get any points on the board. This isn't going to be the set determiner, but it is going to determine whether or not Six Censored will only need 1 more game to win, and you know the mental aspect that can have an effect with. And that special combo going to come in and let them get yet another basket in, and the points are only at 7-4 now, and that is looking like they're going to get a
Wait, is he jumping? Yeah, no, the ball is jumping, and it's in. Yep. Yeah, well done. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Talk about a good game from Six Censored.
Dynamon didn't get to exist. Dynamon just did not get to exist that entire match. The second they show up to swing, a torpedo is immediately locked onto them, and 2 other people are looking at them. Yeah. It's literally back to the respawn with you. You're getting bullied.
Six Censored is just too. Their weapons are just too fast for it, right?
Yeah, it outpaces them. Like Grizz Rizz is getting outpaced here, unfortunately. Especially in Clamblitz, getting outpaced is not a good thing.
Now, if you want to talk about pace, we're now going to Rainmaker, where pace is what it's all about here. So I'm wondering if this one could also be sort of favorable for Six Censored. It's Scorch Rainmaker. You do have that wide open mid, but I feel like the speed of Censored weapons could really continue working to their advantage here.
I mean, looking at every single weapon on both teams as a whole, I have to say that like I think Sixth Sense has the edge in terms of shield DPS. Shield DPS specifically, because they do have a Splatana. Sixth Sense does have a Splatana on their side. That does have better object damage than anything on Grizz Rizz. But Dapples on both teams, and again, 2 players having access to Dapples, or having Dapples in their pocket, can make it very interesting to have just double Dapples, one V Dapple and one Dapple Nouveau, and just have 2 breakneck speed players with a load of shield DPS, just bomb rush the shield and just shred it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. And then beacons as well.
Oh yeah, beacons, absolutely. Beacons on Rainmaker is insanely strong.
Yeah, for sure. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that come out there. You know, one thing as well that I don't believe we've seen is the any cooler coming out from. So that's cooler coming out from the side of Sixth Censored, because Enkai there is also sometimes hops on that end zap, but it really hasn't seemed necessary for them so far. And it can be very advantageous for Rainmaker when you get that speed, you know. But I'm not so sure that it's a base that they are in dire need of covering right now. And also they're in a position where they're not on their back foot with this set, and they can afford to lose a game if they absolutely have to.
Indeed. Also, Grizz Rizz will be subbing out a player. Ico is out and Funky is in.
All right, right back in.
When it comes to cooler on Rainmaker, it's kind of subjective, because do you have a weapon that wants run speed? The best example being Splatoon. If you have a weapon that has run speed, that wants run speed, you can absolutely just have them pick it up when need be. Or if you have a weapon that uses a lot of swim speed, i.e. maybe a stealth squid, like a ninja squid or a shooter, like something that doesn't that can just pick up swim speed without much consequence to its performance, you can always run that. But I do agree, Cooler can definitely make the Rainmaker carrier's life a lot easier when it comes to moving, because oh my goodness, at times I have had like builds on with very little swim speed, and I just love going from average standard swim speed to somebody put glue on my speed. Somebody put like high grade military glue on my shoes. What the heck? I can't move.
Yeah, for sure. Now, on the other hand, though, I feel like much higher chance of they have not been pulling out the pencil, Grizz Rizz, so far. So I'm wondering if that might be a choice that they make here, because so far that kind of the speed at which Sixth Censored has been able to move at has been a bit of a challenge for Grizz Rizz, and I wonder if a cooler from Pencil there could be helpful for this, but we're about to see.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they choose to adapt. Sixth Censored going with no changes?
There's no
changes. They bring out a blaster. Grizz Rizz brings out a blaster, and that actually might help them a lot with AoE.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna be getting right into this game. That blaster gonna come out, and we're still seeing that Dynamo from Dynamon, who only plays Dynamo, but
one trick rise up. Oh no, the blaster goes down immediately, and Grizz Rizz are immediately put on the back foot. The Dynamo goes down as well, and now, but again, the Sixth Sensor is in a prime position to take first check.
Goodness.
And it's gonna be rather unfortunately can't contest it much. And now, oh my goodness, they're taking 4 positions. And specials are coming out. No, the reslider gets cancelled, and a whale comes out from the Tri-Stringer. But hold on, Enkai's gotten around. 52 got in your base. Uh-oh, that's not good.
That is not what you want to be seeing right now. And already a flow aura coming out, and already
oh my goodness,
32 for 6 Censored right now. Now that reslider going to come out for Grizz Rizz with 2 down, but they're still going to make it to 13. Man, we're not even 1 minute into the game right now, Snug.
Yeah, I can't believe it. This is absolute insanity. I mean, to be fair, Rainmaker moment at times, but
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, this team just does not want to stop. I think it's the best example of this kind of team that has such a rushdown mentality. The second you have the opportunity, you put the pedal to the metal and you do everything in your power to make sure the gas stays on.
Yes, now. So, Grizz Rizz is now in control of the Rainmaker, and they are getting a chance to reset here. Nobody's down on the side of Sixth Censored yet. That Booyah Bomb's going to come out, displace people a little bit, but not quite able to make too much happen. That Rainmaker playing very far up here, and right up against the Dapple. Only 6 seconds left, but
what movement!
Whoa, that looks like a little bit of a connection bug there, but barely able to make it through that checkpoint. And Grizz Rizz isn't quite out of this yet. They already got those points down to 40. 2 down on their side though.
Yeah, the best they can do at this point is either trying to salvage it. Oh no, a jump, but it's the dappled match. No!
Oh man, that would have been awesome if they managed to pull that off, but not quite able to make it far enough for that.
I said it earlier. Every living being in this universe has a one-sided beat of gravity, and they just found out.
All right, so 3 down on the side of Grizz Rizz. They managed to get the points up to 41 and through that first checkpoint, but again, they're going to have to make such a big push in order to be able to take this game. And when it comes to Rainmaker, especially, I feel like on Scorch, if the other team manages to get so far in there, manage to get so many points, the mental game can be so difficult of getting past that. Oh man, we have to make it so far now.
Yeah, indeed. But the thing is, again, the ramp is there. Like, it is achievable. They're gonna drop it off? I guess not. But at the same time, I can't blame them for trying to stand their ground with explosives like this, given the enemy's comp. But unfortunately for you, it's not gonna work because they're right here and they're dodging all your shots.
There's 3 down for Grizz Rizz again.
It's gonna be really difficult for them. But a whale comes out because of cooldown. The whale comes out really quickly to make sure that things don't go too awry. But wait, the Booyah Bomb getting cover! Oh.
Just so well played by Six Censored, though. And that's going to be the set going to them. And Six Censored will be going on to finals in order to face 15 over. Close out their set.
Indeed. That was a very strong showing, though, to be fair.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that first game, it just wasn't... The first game favored Grizz Rizz, right? And it showed pretty decisively, you know, like it really wasn't Six Censored really wasn't able to do too much in that first game there. But then it really just pretty much flipped for everything after that. Because Six Censored really just kept finding map modes and stuff that they were able to take advantage of. And Grizz Rizz just wasn't able to get a foothold after that. It's really interesting.
Yeah, they were able to set the pace of the match and play to their own tempo. And unfortunately, Grizz Rizz were forced to be taken along for the ride, which just happens. Especially again, like if you've got something like a team that's able to outpace the Dynamo and just overwhelm it before it can get started, that can absolutely just like shut them down. Yeah. And it sucks to be on the receiving end of. Do not get me wrong. Feeling like you can't do anything. It just sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. But all that being said, very great effort on the side of Grizz Rizz there, and great work getting to semis there for them.